When we are young, our social universe feels completely massive, vibrant, and filled with endless human connections. During our school years and university days, we are constantly surrounded by a huge, chaotic crowd of familiar faces. We collect friends effortlessly at parties and classrooms during military service or at our very first jobs. We genuinely believe that this giant network of people will stay by our side through every chapter of our lives. But as the clock of life ticks forward into our 30s, 40s, and 50s, a strange phenomenon quietly begins to happen. The crowded room of our youth slowly empties out, leaving us with a much smaller, quieter social circle. By the time a person reaches 50, their entire active circle can often be counted on the fingers of just one hand. Society often tells us that this social shrinkage is a sad sign of personal failure, bitterness, or becoming boring. But modern developmental psychology and evolutionary science reveal a completely different, much more peaceful reality. This steady reduction of your social circle is not a tragic mistake. It is a highly sophisticated, natural evolutionary design. To understand this deep shift, we must first examine the concept of what anthropologists call Dunbar's famous number. The human brain has a strict biological limit on how many stable social relationships it can actively maintain at once. In youth, we try to cheat this biological system by collecting hundreds of shallow, surface-level acquaintances everywhere we go. We spend massive amounts of our vital energy keeping up with people we don't deeply care about or truly respect. But as we age, our personal responsibilities dramatically increase with careers, deep relationships, and the focus of family life. Your daily mental energy becomes a highly precious, limited resource that can no longer be wasted on superficial social performances. The brain naturally switches from a survival mindset of social expansion to a mature strategy of emotional conservation. Behavioral scientists refer to this beautiful aging-related shift as socioemotional selectivity theory. As our subconscious mind realizes that our time on this earth is limited, our conversational priorities completely change. We no longer care about the shallow applause of a crowded room or making a good impression on strangers. We develop a sharp, unyielding hunger for raw emotional depth, absolute sincerity, and true psychological safety. You begin to look at your calendar and realize you would rather spend a quiet evening alone than go to a fake dinner party. The heavy price of wearing a social mask becomes completely unbearable for your mature ego to sustain. Furthermore, the natural passage of time acts as a powerful automatic filter for testing human character and loyalty. Life inevitably hits everyone with intense storms, career failures, painful divorces, health scares, and deep personal grief. It is during these dark, heavy moments that your massive youth network reveals its true, fragile nature. The superficial acquaintances quickly fade away into the background noise of social media, unable to handle your reality. Only a very few extraordinary individuals choose to stand firmly beside you in the mud when life gets difficult. These are the rare people who have seen your absolute worst sides and still choose to love and respect you fully. The social funnel slowly strips away the useless, distracting noise so you can clearly see who actually matters. Another major factor in this natural isolation is our own internal psychological growth and self-discovery. In your 20s, you are still frantically figuring out who you are, so you try on many different friend groups like clothes. But by 40 or 50, your personal identity has fully hardened into a solid, unshakable geometric shape. You know exactly what your core values are, what you tolerate, and what completely drains your inner peace. You realize that many old friends were only connected to you by geographic convenience, like a shared school or office. Once that external environment is removed, you notice that you actually have absolutely nothing in common with them anymore. Letting go of these ghost relationships is not an act of malice. It is a profound act of honesty toward yourself and them. Yet, experiencing this social shrinking can still trigger deep moments of existential loneliness and doubt inside our minds. You might look at your quiet phone on a weekend and wonder where the vibrant, loud crowd of your youth went. In those quiet moments, you must remind yourself that a small circle is a sign of psychological sophistication, not isolation. It is infinitely healthier to have two deep, authentic connections than to be surrounded by 100 polite, faceless strangers. A large, shallow crowd can leave you feeling entirely unseen, lonely, and emotionally starved in a room full of noise. But a single conversation with a true soulmate can entirely recharge your nervous system and restore your faith in humanity. True friendship is not about how many hours you spend together or how often you text back and forth. It is about the absolute ease of sitting together in complete silence without a single spark of social anxiety or judgment. It is the unshakable certainty that no matter how much time passes, your internal alignment remains completely untouched. As you grow older, protect the gate of your inner sanctuary with an incredibly high, uncompromising standard. Do not lower your boundaries out of a temporary fear of loneliness or a desperate desire to fit in somewhere. Learn to view your own quiet solitude not as an empty, boring void, but as a beautiful, rich palace of self-mastery. The people who are truly meant to walk your path with you will naturally find you through the clarity of your own energy. And if you only have 3 real friends left in the entire world right now, celebrate that reality as a massive victory. It means you have successfully navigated the chaotic social illusion of youth and kept the purest pieces of gold. You have traded the cheap, loud copper coins of popularity for the heavy, quiet diamonds of genuine connection. The world will always tell you that more is better, pushing you to collect followers, likes, and endless superficial networking ties. But your internal psychology knows that true luxury is the complete absence of fake, performative human drama in your life. Your past design may have craved the crowd to feel secure, but you now possess the power to love the quiet space. I'm Leo, and I hope this note helps you find a sense of deep pride and peace in your beautifully small circle. Look past the social expectations of society, cherish the few who truly see your soul, and guard your consciousness. Decode your own mind, refuse the easy traps of comparing your social life to others. Think deeply and stay grounded. Walk with real intention, love your remaining circle with absolute courage, and always, above all, protect your inner peace.